This video is on 1 second, guys. Okay, so we have um today's date is wait, it's not recording now. Today's date is the third of April 2026. The time now is 9:05 a.m. And the video is gonna be on the trade law. O for Oscar, H for ham, A for apple is OHA, it's a public domain law or public domain governance. I'm gonna stand some things about Obinicus. The OHA, Iwu, Indigo West umbrella is law, means law in Igbo. OHA means public. And a G, I for indigo, J for jam, I for indigo means order, equals order in English. This is Igbo language I'm referring to. And I'm expressing that, oh, my door's open. My door's open. Expressing that in this kind of context we have we have two divisions. Obviously, design and technical constitution. We get design and technology, MUCO OSM for Mike, M for Mike, U for Black, F Kilo, O for Scott. Is a design and technology constitution. Design only first and technology next. Design before technology for transformation of the mind. More formally, I'm expressing that we have the fair trade law, and I'm trying to get it sorted out. This is basically the law, the second law for the system. So get OHA, Iwu, Iji, and sorry. OHA is public, a protected law, but it means public basically to apply to the public. So it means to protect the public, but and get protected. My point is the Iwu is going to govern the equity trade law. So you're going to have fair trade or concession fair trade. I have with me a prop. Obviously, this is a British pound. This is what it looks like, guys. Oh, let me turn this light on. This is what it looks like. Here, my palm. This is what it looks like on my palm. This is a British pound. This is what it looks like when I pinch it. And this is the front. This is the back of the. You get the front of the British pound. We have the head. You get heads and you get tails. You're gonna have the Biafran pound, but all people's currency should not override the system of the Biafran pound. They shouldn't be. They're gonna cause instability. The fair trade. The Iwus, Iwus, shall call it Fair Equity Trade Act. The Equity Trade Act 2026. This says that any kind of external currency should not dominate should not be over the front should be at the best case half. At the best case, half or on. For example, you can have £1 equal to £1 equal to half a Biafran pound. In the best case scenario, this will be one. So you're gonna be 50 British pound, in all the currency. And you're gonna have £1 at maximum. It used to be £1 at maximum, which used to be equal to one Biafran pound, because that's how it used to be before. And or £1 or less, or less, everything has to be less. So £1 equal to 50 pence, 50 Biafran pence. Basically, we have our own from it's not even called pound and pence. Yeah, exactly. Because we are from the Greek and Greek Latin Empire, not an empire. We are derived from Greek Latins. We share pound and pence because of the Greek Latins influenced us. So British influenced us. We are the main influence. The Greek and Latin Latinos, Latin Americans. That's one that influence. So this is what it looks like, and this is what I'm seeing here, guys. This is what pound looks like. What do you guys think? Okay, this is the tails of the pound. Let me just put closer. This is tails of the pound. I put it like this closer. This is heads of the pound, and this is tails of the pound. Okay, so the goal of the SKT Act 2018 is to enforce first rate. So you're gonna have kind of think of well, how does it work? So I've discovered that basically I have someone in the ward named like on this ward, such that basically they have a service, they need a service. The service is to buy some takeaway. So they give me cash. They give me British pound. I convert that through. I clean the money. I clean out the noise through the service. So I offer a service to. So I use my card, my nationwide card. I use my nationwide card to take the British pound and give him the food because he just wants to buy the food. It's a direct transaction of trade. And because I just use my card to pay online for the fast food, that's the service I'm pitching to. I am the middleman, but basically I'm the middleman, but I'm not the middleman. I'm the middle operation. But this can be all automated basically, because I have this pound. I get the cut, my cut, because my cut is a full transaction of the pound, so it's like 20 pounds, 20 pounds like this. Like this is £1 or 20 pounds of this. And because he has £20 takeaway, I get fully £20 via a broker. So I'm the broker, I'm the one handling the service, which is called a brokerman or broker woman, And the broker woman handles calculation online with his own assets. And my assets is basically my laptop and my knowledge to use the service to buy him what he needs, the food, fast food, which is McDonald's and KFC, McDonald's. Oh yes, KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, that's what he wanted. And since he bought Kentucky Fried Chicken, I then get my full £20 and no, it was £10. Sorry, so it was £10. So I have £10 I paid for, but it was just above £10. So I said, let me use the service. Let me just clean the money, but I'm doing it for less. So here was £10. £10 90. No, it was £12 actually. £12 95 pence. And I said, let me do it for less. £10, but use my service to do it for less. So you get the service you need. And that's the trade, because the money gets cleaned out. That's the important thing. If it's £12, if it's under if it's £15, then you make it for £20. If it's under £10, because you have to round to a finer value to ensure it's sustainable. And because I did it for £12 or less, £10 or less, he didn't have the full chain because we were struggling, and it does work. So the trade actor, so the sales I bought one was KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and with a £10 note he gave me, and he had £10, but I paid £12 for the service delivery. So I handled all the service with my money, but I got that money, and it was a fair trade because I got cash to use it for other things such as bigger profits. It's sustainable because it can be redoed over again over a frequent shop. Can be redone and redone and redone. So you're gonna have this £1 become £10 or £10 and £12 or 95 pence what he paid, and I get minus £2. I have average conversion, but I get £10. So I just clean the cash. I clean it now. This can be now I can take that £10 and convert it to 10 different pounds. 10 different pounds or whatever, but I think can use it to buy services in Biafra or the Wu Constitution. So this is really the Wu Constitution, the Wu IW Equity Act, the Wu Equity Trade Act for sustainable services. Secondly, let me show you what I mean. Fair trade is a global movement that ensures producers in developing countries receive fair compensation, work under safe conditions, and engage under sustainable practices. So this is basically called trade. Trade is when you swap items. They are but you swap goods and services because you may not have enough. The why I prefer trading, you may not have enough to guarantee something equal to it. You may not have enough of one unit of money. So basically, you may not have enough of one unit of money, like the pound, to buy a service in the country. By swapping out or hot swapping, swapping out something, adding something else of value that equal to that value gives you a trade union. So it's less expensive because you don't deal with cash, you deal with the kind of process of negotiation, and you can speak to a human being. You know what I'm saying? It's like blockchain, but for compensation, for money, for compensating. Because compensating and compensation, which I'm really good, because you're gonna get a financial, so you don't end up in financial diaspora, because the final the kind of thing, money is a vector, but that vector can be reduced to a scalar, just one unit of money, and that money, since when it becomes a scalar unit, any kind of reduction algorithm, think of it this way: you're gonna have let's say my house is £200. I'm gonna nobody that has £200. Maybe the pastor will buy a house for £200. Um, £200. How much is a house actually? Let me just find out how much is a house today. Let me find out. So you're gonna have the scalar metric and the housing and planning law. This is what I was looking for. Housing price. Okay. Two bedroom. So I'm looking for a two-bedroom property in the United Kingdom here. Oh, it meant it's fluctuated. So, so think of it this way: you're gonna have a vector currency, and the vector dictates the price and the services to get to the price and the things you actually need to get hold of the service, good of your items, and those are called value added stacks. But these are different dimensions of the problem. So if you reach to a two vector system, you can model as a matrix, but the matrix determines. I was never loading the internet. Oh fuck. Okay, let me speak for myself. So let's say a house is £200, £200, and you have the unit metric. You have a unit. You have a unit of the house, £200. That unit is basically British unit. That's British unit. That's how the British do business for housing. £200 for housing is like nothing anyway, but people have problems with it. So you're gonna have £200. You're gonna have the unit, and you're gonna have the kind of scalar vector, the kind of how much accumulates to make a unit that you need to offer that get that service. So I don't even gonna buy a house. I hear that example. I hear the example. Though. My concept, my idea is that you have a sustained economy, be sustainable. So you gotta have a balance, sustainable built into the system. So if you buy a house for £200, you get another number which is like £200 and a relation and then another unit like £200. And I already said it before. Oh, I already done it before. And you can't. There's no £200, no £200 by the way. You're gonna get another unit like £100. Look, don't think about that, guys. It depends where you get the houses, basically. But there's a ratio I'm trying to emphasize here. Okay, say I put a mortgage and mortgage. Oh, my mortgage example is better. Okay, let me put a mortgage in. So we have a mortgage of £10,000, £10,000 to save up to buy a house. And that mortgage is covered by the bank. The bank is the broker for the house, but they can also penalize me. Yes. So £10,000 is a mortgage in the United Kingdom. You can simply put a mortgage with a bank, by banking service, So, I can't believe this I'm saying, but you're gonna have £10,000 for the housing. So you're gonna be paying up to £10,000 while the government covers you back with the finance. But it's no, but you have to buy the house. So basically, I can set up a mortgage right now, but I'm in a debt, so I can't. So I have to clear my debt first. So any debt you need, you have to clear that first now. So for example, so right now, if you want to take a mortgage, I'll go to an insurance bank, I phone them up, hey, can I have a mortgage? It's £10,000. Yes, I know it's £10,000, but I have to be in a debt first. So since I'm not in a debt, I'm in debt, we cannot get a service. It's unstable. So you need to stop instability by having something priced appropriately so you can always get a service or so I can always get you double your nutrition. Everything must profit somehow. It's like a self-employed person, versus an employee. It's like that. So the profit is basically the profit. Anything that they make is like since you're self-employed, it's all goes to your account. You control it. All you have is time, but the time is a value to you. You know that your time to learn new skills and develop your skill set based on whatever you do, your contribution, has to be not monopolized. You can't waste time on something when people need services. So when people need this kind of service, like the housing, and if you waste time there, you're losing money, but you don't know about it. That's my key. That's my key. You don't know about it. The kind of scenario I'm pointing out is you don't want to have something the pound is something you don't know how it works, why it works, but it does work. So you want to clean it, you want to liquidate it. You want to liquidate it. Let's call it liquidation. You don't clean the money. You want to liquidate the pound into a system you can understand, so you can profit from it. So you can profit from the best of both worlds. But the British pound, it's gonna be like it doesn't matter if it's Albanian pound or American dollars. It doesn't matter what the currency is. 99 cents. It doesn't matter what it is. You have to be very. I keep saying cleaning. That's not the word. I mean, everyone uses liquidation. So liquidation is like the process, but it's you have to make it into something you can control. And that's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense. Okay, now, next thing. So you go up the fair trade laws, which are about trading equity. So equity trade. So you're gonna have about trading in a way that is so if you have like a sports game, a football game you pay for, and you pay for the front row seats, and I pay for you pay for I pay for, and me you go for I pay for I pay for the back row seats, the back stadium, I pay for the because and then no one's to be at the back of the stadium. They want to watch at the front line, but you pay for the front line. I pay for the stadium. And then I'm going to give an analogy here. So I'm going to give an example here. And the people that are over the fences and watching the game, they can still watch the game. Then they have they have broken. You must well know. Me and you must know have paid for something. Because the conversation wasn't the value of the service. Because it's not that I'm discriminating against. The system I'm explaining that you pay for the service. I pay for the front. You pay for the front. No, I pay for the back. Those services are entitled to something, and that something is the seats. But if the seats are to watch the game, then I should have paid, and anybody can watch the game off a fencing, off a fence, like off a high street. Then it's no value. I might just find other ways to do other things that don't break the system, but empower me to make more impactful decisions around how I trade. Trading is like very important to understand because this is what we have in Nigeria. Do it fair. Do it fair. What does fair mean? Fair. When we listen to producing farmers, we put pressure on the right things and places. We have power to change. And this is what Nigeria is about, and Biafra is about fair trade. But you don't want to be having, you want equity, you want it to be distributed. So that's what I'm talking about equity. So how fair works. This is what the word fair business. I'm talking about distributed. So get decentralized, which is fair. You get distributed, which is equity. So Equity Trade Act 2026. Or just the Equity Trade Act forever. Here and now forever. And the law is like, can I have this service? Yes. Can I get it when I go there? When I go somewhere else? No. Because it doesn't apply in other contexts. It doesn't apply in the UK. It doesn't matter if the farmer comes from the UK or comes from Nigeria, they have different ways of farming, of agriculture, of procedural agriculture, of process of agriculture, and that's because they have different way of doing stuff. They have a different process, a procedure. But the procedure can be to processes, yes. It's just that it is not like it should be more. It's more than a label here. It says here. It's just that the impact is like, can I do it? Just gonna come and farm in my country in Nigeria from, it's like if you have like if I'm having chicken or steak in the UK, I find it's hard to get steak, but in Nigeria you can get steak very easily. Why is that? You can say the environment is richer, the cows are healthier, but to get the steak is not the problem. It's like, there's some kind of distribution mechanics that happens in the kind of economy that expresses how what I even why the chicken and steak tastes so good, and because there was a system in that place of agriculture. There's an agricultural system that preserves the healthiness of the cows. I know I'm thinking about, it's nothing about the cows in the first place. If they take cows from the UK and put them in Nigeria, Nigeria they'll be healthier, yes. But because they have a different process, why don't you see the same process across borders? Or cows, same process. This is taking the cows, see the same process. And you can see, I'm thinking you see a shape change in the steak and change in the milk. So you can tell, how they, because the process has been refined, and because it works for a local. But if you're from herding cows in Nigeria, I would take that in Nigeria. I'll take my cows. I want my cows to be free. Free chicken. I want my cows to be free. But we have cows. We have cow. We have like a kind of a similar cow. No, we don't. We have a little process of cows. But if you see my cows to UK, they will not be free. Some of them could be locked and chained, and that is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the quality of the service, primarily to kind of, and the quality of the livestock health of the livestock. It's like there's something about, there's an equity that has to be in the fair. This is about fair. It's about equity. It's about distributed. If fair means dealing with someone based on disability. Fair means to discriminate against disability and still offer that service. That person able to it's like a baby, like Nestle baby milk. It's like, because they're fair, they're so fair to the laws. That's why they can get through a lot of nonsense. But they don't understand that the baby the baby cannot give a baby a bottle, and that baby will start drinking it unless that baby is already first time, because you have a baby, I have a baby and a baby bottle, and the baby contains next baby, because the baby has to able to know with the bottle. You can't do that. So, and this is a bad example, but the I'm proposing is that you have a distributor, distributor job as part of geography of this place can be used for this thing, this place can be used for this thing as well, but we don't use, we use it for this thing. We use it for something else. Like these cows can be free in this space. We can keep these cows here. So when these cows are done being free here, these cows can go here and graze on the grass and eat the grass or whatever. Because they actually start living life. And when the cows start living life, or the chicken start meeting the cows, when chicken starts speaking with cows, then you have something that's more humane, something that's impactful and humane. You know, it makes people, I'm not thinking about, all my animals were free or gods, all my animals were free, they have to be free, it's not just about, killing the cows, because something that's an old age, you eat a chicken. It's not about that, we eat chicken, or fly, but it's about preserving the economy via a redistribution of population of the money system. Money. So if you think about honey, reason, good example, honey works. Honey was, I never seen, the only thing I liked was honey when I was a child because I got the same amount of honey in Nigeria as I was got here as a child. I could grow strong. Honey was like very impactful for me. And I love honey in the UK as well because I didn't feel that I can keep buying honey as much as I can without getting sugar taxed. And honey is a great example of everything I'm describing here. Honey, like having maybe I can start my own honey hive, like my own honey honey hive, and pollinate my pollinate my honey farm and my bee farm, and then and then produce double, that's what I love to do. Produce sustainable because I can take that honey and give it to someone else. Not even myself. And I can take that. Basically, I can take the bee stuff. What do you call it? The bee nectar, make them produce honey, and then take that honey to a barrel, sell it, and then sell it, and go through the same process of liquidation. Because I want my currency. I want some. It's like make sure in the blockchain. Blockchain is like distributed ledgers, decentralized and distributed ledgers. They do the service for you, but it's like the ledger it's not active. It's not active. That's for him. It's like blockchain because the ledger basically does the service for you. It's like the ledger. Doesn't matter if I buy. If you want to come to me for honey, and I sell you honey, and the jar of honey is good enough for me to have, but but you have to go through a middleman. So it's not you go to him. So that middleman is called Adam, and I'm Namdi, and you say, hey, Adam. I want to buy honey from Namdi. And I said, yeah, let me handle the system. What I'm going to give you is, let me go through this process of liquidation. And basically, how much honey do you need? I need 10 jars of honey. You say 10 jars, that's one pack of honey. And he takes the jars of honey, which are like this big, comes to me and says, yeah, he's paid for a pack of for 10 jars of honey, 5 times 5. You have, let's say he's paid how much? £15, £14.99. And I said, yeah, I trust the conversion currency here, because their economy can go up and down, and our economy could go up and down as well. So what I want to do is make our economy stronger by converting this into British pound, and it can be easily done through the ledger, But let's just say, yeah, I want this to be done well as well. I want this to be done well enough. So the two entities can have two different ledgers. So if you want a ledger to ledger node, you can have that. But he says to me, yeah. So and then he then they take some honey, transport the honey to the guy, and you pay £15 for 10 jars of honey. It doesn't do what, and he converts into 15 equivalent British pounds, which is basically £7, seven British pound, and 7.5 British pound. And I then give him the service. I didn't offer the service, But the problem there is it's not still. He has to have two different roles. Like you can give yourself a no, but if you pay, he gets. I make the honey. I'm afraid the honey, my honey, and then I ship to and I offer him to the vet, and we just agree that because it's a different pound, the different pound works for us, so that's what we believe in. That's what we work on. It's just about for like things like no exploitation, not that sanction, because they don't control our market. They control their market. We just give them their service, the service they need. You see? And thing I'm saying is that it works because it's sustainable. It's sustainable. Because if he doesn't want the honey anymore, that's still our asset. That's an asset, not a liability. Because he went through someone we can trust. Basically, the distributor. He has two jobs. He can basically. It's an equity system because we can trust each other. We can have three people, or even have a consistent operating system. Like have I know what I'm saying here, but basically you got fair and you got equity, but they have to find a way to. I can't remember what I'm saying. You see, I'm saying that the kind of thing must be based on the principles of equity, not like trading fairly, but not dismissing someone's liabilities, because that liability can trickle into your liabilities too, can give you more liabilities. I don't understand. It's basically like a topology of this guy offered me works with this currency, and I'm working with my currency because I trust my currency. If I trust my currency, I trust my currency, it's sustainable, and so you get inflation, you get rise in prices. And the inflation is like the monetary inflation. So you're gonna have basically you're gonna have the trade law because the Equity Act trade law, but it's gonna have a system around the kind of financial backing, because everyone that if something fails, it's say like if I see the guy, see Adam now bag broke one day, and Ella can develop the honey to the guy, to you, and then Adam bag broke down midway, so he doesn't get his honey. What happens then is like you have to handle the case of them, it's like a different job, and then I just pay to a new bag. So I have to work hard in a different kind of job. So I can come to me, I can be working for me, and I can get that money back, or get you back, if I don't have the money. But put it. It's kind of interesting to think that it's better to trade. Actually, my whole opinion is like it's better to trade than buy and sell. It's just better, much more better to trade, like trade something, like replace change things around. So for people, trade is bad. But I'm trying to find trade. I'm trying to have trade strategies at the market in so you can have a decentralized, distributed financial economy that's sustainable. And I'm saying to you, so you can get your service wherever you are in the world. You know what I'm saying? That's the goal here, guys. And in BFF first, of course.